Hey guys, Jasmine of IPS. Today we're talking about what is the healthcare revenue cycle. We're going to split this video up into a few different parts so that we can take a deep dive into each specific element. Now that charge capture has occurred, and diagnosis capture, you are pulling that information into your software. Hopefully it arrives there in an electronic way. If not, then someone is hand keying this information into a billing software of sorts. And from that point, then the charges can be reviewed for scrubbing. So from the between charge capture and charge review, on a daily basis, there should be a process by which your staff is reconciling their day. So we did mention earlier about the patient visit. So on a patient's visit, when they are checking out from their appointment, you perhaps have collected or are collecting a patient copay or deductible in-house. And once that's collected, at the end of the day, you want your staff to be reviewing the charges that have been captured by your checkout system, and you want them reconciling or balancing against what money they took in for the day. This process is essential. I'll do a separate video on the closing of a day and what exactly we recommend you have in that process, but 100% something that you should be doing for your practice. All right, once you have your charges and you reviewed them and you've done what we call scrubbing of those charges, which means you have decided that you've used the proper codes or the proper modifiers to further clarify those procedure codes, and you've also looked at it up against what the requirements are from the insurance carrier, all of those things have been considered, and now your claim is ready for submission. So I'll do another video specifically around claim scrubbing and tools that you can use to help you really support that claim scrubbing process. So when claims are ready for billing, hopefully you're using an electronic means for sending your claims where possible. Obviously, carriers like perhaps some work comp carriers and personal injury carriers, if you're billing them, they will not be able to be transmitted electronically at this point in time. However, the vast majority of the other carriers, you can transmit electronically even when medical notes are required. So I would 100% recommend, if you are not submitting electronically at this time, that you seriously consider making that switch. All right, so claims getting generated from your software can happen various ways. I can't go into too much detail on this presentation about that because it is something that is unique to each software. If you have an integrated clearinghouse, which means your clearinghouse is directly connected to your software, then those claims can be generated in your software and transmitted through your software to the insurance company's clearinghouse. So I would suggest that if you do not have, your software does not have an integrated clearinghouse, that you explore some very good options. And I'll do a video kind of talking about my recommendations on some of the best clearinghouses and the market. But you want to ensure that your software at the very least can create a proper ANSI formatted EDI file or electronic data interchange file. That file will need to be generated from your software, and if it's not connected or integrated within your software, it would then be downloaded from your software, and you would log into your clearinghouse and upload the claim to the clearinghouse for the insurance company. So usually we do this in what we call batches, which means that basically instead of sending it, and if you're downloading claims, instead of sending them one at a time, it can be a little tedious in that way. Instead, you are looking at the batch of perhaps the day or a couple of days earlier. Perhaps you're doing things on a slight delay so that you allow for any adjustments or changes in the provider's notes. You then are allowing the biller is going to be preparing a batch for that entire day that needs to be transmitted to insurance. So perhaps you're on a 2-day delay and it's Wednesday, so you're sending claims for Monday or Friday of the previous week. You're going to prepare that batch after you've scrubbed all those charges and download that batch for that Friday's dates of service, and then upload that into your clearinghouse. And that would basically seal the claim submission process, and that is just one very small piece of the relationship of our clearinghouse. So you will want to make sure that your claims are generating electronically, as I said, to the insurance clearinghouse. However, the submission piece is a very small element that it goes into the process of picking a clearinghouse that's effective. Our next piece of the revenue cycle is adjudication. So the insurance company receives the claim. So what happens is your clearinghouse that you are subscribed to submits a claim to the insurance company's clearinghouse, and in most cases within a day or two max, you will find out whether that claim was accepted for processing. Then that process by which it is accepted by the insurance company is considered adjudication. The insurance company receives that claim and then starts to put it through the adjudication process. The adjudication process is when the insurance company looks at the patient's benefits against what the claim information contains and the specific provider or organization that is providing the service. So it looks at all of those elements and then decides what payment is due or how that the claim should be processed. So if a claim is not accepted for processing, what would happen is the claim would then be rejected electronically, usually done directly back to your clearinghouse, so that then you can be able to see some of the reasons why it was rejected. So this is a very important piece to the revenue cycle. A lot of practices and organizations get this part wrong. They do by not logging in to check their claim rejections. It is a very important piece to the process because there are a lot of insurance companies that do not transmit any denial in written form to you if a claim was rejected electronically, which means that the insurance company is going to send you that rejection only one time to your clearinghouse, and you will never receive any confirmation of whether they received or denied that claim. So then what we see very frequently is the practice then goes through the process of just trying to resubmit, and they keep trying to throw something at a closed door. So the insurance company would have already determined with a claim rejection that they would not pay that claim for whatever particular reason, or they cannot even accept that claim for processing. Usually those things that are being rejected are among the things we were discussing earlier in our previous discussion about data capture. So things like patient's name, date of birth, their insurance ID, perhaps there's an issue with the insurance company that you've listed there, that it's not quite the company that you transmitted the claim to. So there's all kinds of elements that very quick fixes to resolve your claims and to get them processing by insurance carriers if you are checking into your claim rejections. So again, super important, check your claim rejections. I recommend you do this daily, maybe multiple times a day, depending on the volume of claims that you're transmitting. And do expect that it's going to be a very great investment of your time. It will take a little bit of time, but guarantee you will see reduction in your accounts receivable if you do this properly.